Hi guys, Danielle at Danielle TBD.
Marisa at Marisa Rothman.
And this is our vodcast, We Have Thoughts. And today we're kind of picking up where we left off with the last one. We were talking about the new fall TV that we were excited for and shows that pilots we really enjoyed on initial watch. And today we're actually going to talk about some of the new fall pilots that we were disappointed by, that we kind of maybe had higher hopes for and they didn't quite meet those hopes or expectations, or that we just thought were not what we wanted them to be, not up to par in multiple capacities. So would you like to start with one? Or should I start with one?
I can start.
So reluctant. I love talking about shows I don't like.
It hurts my heart because I like the moments before you actually watch the screener, when you have that blind moment of hope that maybe this will actually be the show that I love the most.
See, I don't have those moments because I read the scripts.
Yeah, I try not to as many as possible. I've read some, but I just try to have hope that maybe I'll be blown away. Maybe this will be my next X, Y, or Z.
Right.
And then there are shows that you have expectations for, which is what happened with Revolution, which is a show I wanted to talk about, because I've loved what J.J. Abrams has put out, whether he's created himself or what he's kind of gotten in his little bad robot empire. Kripke, I love Eric Kripke. I love Supernatural. So there was the hope with these two people forming some kind of like super team. Like, I'm picturing like capes right now, guys. It's amazing. That would be like the best, nerdiest show ever. And I was really bummed out by it. Like, I know again, we said this in the thing about shows we like. This is just our the rough drafts, cuts that we've seen. So we don't actually know how it's going to turn out in the final version. But what we've seen disappointed me. I felt like there was way too much that reminded me of Terra Nova, the bad parts of Terra Nova.
That's what I think we should point out too, is like, as much as these are early pilots and they're maybe subject to change or whatever, they're not rough cuts in the sense that they're like not finished.
Right.
And that's the thing about Revolution, like, it was pretty. Like,
yeah.
So I guess in the sense of Terra Nova, like, everything was green and lush and pretty, and I didn't want it to be.
See, with Terra Nova, I think part of my thing was that I liked the original pilot better. Like, the original one that they did before they made the changes, that was a better pilot, I felt. And then they made the changes. And now with Revolution, they're making, I don't know how drastic the changes are going to be, but they are making changes again. So my concern is to whether, I hope maybe by the time, we actually see the final version, it will be an amazing series that I'm totally behind. My concern is that if it already starts from a point where I was disappointed, it's going to go even lower to a point where I don't even want to watch the show, and that's not something I ever thought would be possible with the show. It just felt like they skipped over what drew me to the show to begin with. All the time of them losing electricity. We lost our electricity. Look, I have my laptop right here. I have my phone right there. It's not even on silent.
And it's not even like, and I get that that's not the show that they set out to make.
Right.
The initial panic, and maybe they'll show it in flashbacks in future episodes. Me too, absolutely, because that's what I wanted to see too. But to me, it's more like, it's not even that. If they didn't want to make that show, I still feel like they should have shown us a little bit of it, rather than jump 15 years in the future right from the moment of blackout.
Oh yeah.
Because I got to be really honest with you, without that little title card that said 15 years later or whatever the exact wording was, I wouldn't have realized it was that much later, because the kids are obviously teenagers now and they've aged, but nobody else looks any older, and you would think that they would look haggard. You would think that, like, we go back to a time when we have no plumbing and we have no electricity. Well, maybe we still have plumbing. I don't really know how that works. It looks like their houses were kind of decrepit, but
yeah,
we don't have any of these comforts that we are used to, that we need in a sick, like, codependent way, but also in a very real way. Like, our hospitals run on electricity, so people get sick and don't heal the same way.
Right. No, of course.
And so, you have no instance of that on anyone's exterior.
Yeah. The 15 years is a huge jump, not only in terms of the storytelling, just looking at those actors, kept thinking, when I saw that, I'm like, wait, so are all the actors we just saw, all the adult actors no longer there? I'm like, that's super weird. And I was like, oh wait,
they should have all been dead.
No, they should have been dead.
But they should have been older.
No, they should have actually looked older, because it's not like they no offense to the makeup people, I'm sure did a spectacular job in the.
But
in the
makeup
early
people are also like
they're limited to what they can do.
I wasn't even gonna say limited. I just mean like it depends on what kind of makeup person this show is relying on. Like typical TV makeup people are glamour makeup people. A show like this needs the people who do the prosthetics and the effects to age these people because they're not
or to make them much younger
actors.
in the flashbacks. There needs to be some kind of. That's what when I looked at them, I'm like, they look about their actual age in these flashbacks.
Right, and they look their actual age in the present day.
Right, and so I mean, yeah, I don't need it to be the show that I thought it was in my head.
I do.
Because
that's a show I want to watch.
Well,
and that's the thing. It's not even the fault of Revolution for me that that's not the show that they made. But if you're going to give me a different show, I need you to prove to me why your show is more interesting than what I thought I wanted.
I mean, I can see that too. But my disappointment was that even once, I just felt like there was no real, I feel like we went from point A to point M with no real emotional depth. Like, we didn't get to really care about so many of these characters. Like, in a show like this, I feel like you have to care about these characters in order for some of the twists that they make. Because it's Kripke and Abrams. They're twists.
Right.
But I feel like there need to actually have some character depth to make you care about the stakes.